Turning an MMORPG into a TV show, now that's a bold move. There's gotta be something worth talking about if I'm making a video on it though, right? Stick around and find out why I think you're gonna be blown away by this beautiful animated show. It all started as a multiplayer online battle arena, or MOBA, back in 2009. The game was a super hit over the course of a decade or so, and the rest is history. The game developers at the Riot Games company personally worked to pick and choose the characters and regions from the map of the game to involve in the storyline of this show. That, I still find hard to believe, is actually based on a battle arena game. Why do I find this so hard to believe? That's simply because the storyline of this show is fucking awesome. I've personally not played League of Legends as I'm simply not much of a gamer, really. But I still found this show's storyline amazing. In a nutshell, this show is a story about two orphan sisters that are forced to go into separate paths due to certain unforeseen circumstances, and how their paths converge years later in a universe filled with magic, mayhem, politics, and a fight for power. Now, this in no way does justice to the amount of stuff that actually happens in this show. It's an oversimplification. The plot itself is actually very dense, and the pacing is quick and engaging throughout the show. You don't need to sit through a boring first episode to appreciate this show. It shows you a glimpse of its awesomeness within the first 15 to 30 minutes itself. Let me start by talking about the quality of animation here in this show. This is literally one of the most immersive animated experiences I've ever watched. The quality of animation and the details in each scene or frame is just gorgeous, breathtaking. Every movement done by a character is perfected. The physics and the dynamics of each character in any scene where a character is fighting or doing anything remotely physical is so well thought out. It doesn't feel unnatural at all. Certainly not comical at any given point in time. Perhaps even better than some live-action Marvel movies. Riot Games has personally overseen every aspect of this production. I think their care for the show is very apparent. Piltover City is the main city where this show is set, and both the city and its even more expansive underground community is showcased with such conviction, it makes you wish it really existed. Talking about the characters and character development, characters are not thrown at you right off the bat, and yet the show not only introduces you to, but also keeps you very invested in a lot of characters. Yes, it's not all about the two sisters, there's a lot more to it. The sisters feel like the perspective, the lens through which we watch the story unfold. They don't hog the narrative at all. Every character that's been introduced has a very noticeable character arc in the show, and nobody is left hanging by the end of the season. Another aspect I absolutely love. The writing in this show merits the producer's pride by delivering genuinely thought-provoking dialogue. There is no cringy, out-of-character lines coming out of anybody's mouths. The writing might actually be my favorite part of the show. The maturity with which racial and cultural differences are portrayed, apart from just empowerment, is just so immaculate and flawless. Fabulous writing. Something else I feel is very important for me as a reviewer to address is the portrayal of homosexuality among characters. This show is probably one of the only shows in my mind that I'd give major props to for not making the homosexuality boring, stereotypical, and completely unnecessary. It's dealt with more maturity and realism than anything I've seen, really. I mean, I watched Call My Agent Bollywood before and Inside Edge Season 3 right after it, and I almost barfed my fucking guts out while watching those two shows. I can understand why it's hard to believe me when I say this show gets it right. The industry has given us a very bad taste of LGBTQ. Believe me, Arcane gets it right. In my opinion, a lot of it depends on not really making a big fucking deal about it. Another aspect that was very bold of the show was to cast two powerful female characters that kick ass throughout the show as the two main leads. Though the narrative is balanced among all characters, Violet and Powder are unmistakably the lead characters of the show. After crap like Superwoman, Wonder Woman 85, Charlie's Angels, and the complete fucking abomination that the recent Black Widow was, Arcane is a breath of fresh air, as they just fit in so perfectly with the show. I wouldn't ask for any other leads in their places. Many people need to learn how to write and portray female characters properly from this show. Just like in a good movie with a male lead, You're not constantly reminded of the fact that he's kicking ass just because he's got a dick and balls. Female characters can be strong and feminine without rubbing their gender identity on your face. This show is a perfect example of nailing female characters and female character writing. The show's theme song Enemy by Imagine Dragons flows so beautifully with the Arcane universe. Such a perfect sound for this world filled with imperfections. The dissonant chord choices complement the dark undertones in the show's writing and animation. The only problem I felt was that it's so unmistakably Imagine Dragons. You could hear it for 15 seconds and tell it's generic Imagine Dragons stuff. However, I'm really reaching at this point. That's a problem I have with Imagine Dragons and not with the show. I honestly don't have any major problems with the show. The entire voice cast of the show has done a splendid job that grips you hard. I only wish that everyone who watches this review before watching the show actually gives Arcane a fair chance. Watch it and hate it. Don't judge it because it's animated or because it's based on an MMORPG. I mean, it's based on League of Legends, for crying out loud. Not freaking Club Penguin or Clash of Clans. This might be the best original show to come out this year. So original, so good, and almost flawless. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you think you'll watch another video of mine, hit that subscribe button and have a nice day. See ya.